evening to you and welcome to TV47 News Tonight. And Catherine Simolo is on the sign language interpretation. I'm used to Lee Stanley. Iringita top topics just for you. Tonight, KEMSA cleanup has started. A new board has assumed office in the scandal-burdened parastatal.
It is irresponsible to have paid over 200 people for 2 years, them sitting at home.
This as Health CS Nakumicha talks tough. Also tonight, 8 more bodies exhumed from Shakahola forest, taking the tally to 235.
The exhumations have been going on today, and the forensic team has been able to exhume 8 bodies.
This as the exhumation exercise is suspended. And we shall tell you about Wajir County growing pending bills to the tune of 7.5 billion shillings.
You can start in motion of ensuring they surrender and they pay the necessary charges or being surcharged.
The Senate is now demanding an audit of Wajir pending bills. Welcome to the bulletin. You can always talk to us on our social media platforms below your screens. Now, President William Ruto now says Kenya will tap on Singapore's housing model to actualize the affordable housing project in Kenya. Speaking when he met Singapore's Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong, the head of state said Kenya will consider Singapore's strategic location in Asia to make inroads into the Asian market. Flora Limuki begins our bulletin tonight.
President William Ruto says Kenya will use Singapore to tap into the Asian market. Addressing the press in the company of Singapore's Prime Minister Lee Loong at State House Nairobi, the head of state said Kenya will borrow Singapore's model when building the affordable houses to achieve affordable housing for every Kenyan.
I don't want us to postpone this agenda anymore, and thus I am asking Kenyans to make the choice by saving into the housing fund so that 60 years from now, we can also have a similar success story to tell.
Kenya and Singapore have signed 3 memorandum of understanding to enhance development between the two countries. This is information, communication and technology to enhance a fast tracking and digitization of government services. The signing of Climate Change Pact will build a collective action to deal with the greatest existential threat to mankind, that is climate change.
We sign an MOU in carbon credits collaboration under Article 6 of the Paris Agreement, and this will encourage, develop and facilitate collaborative carbon credit projects of mutual interest.
The Climate Change Act 2023 bill that is currently going through public participation as the introduction of the carbon credits are some of the proposals to amend in a bid to combat climate change.
We then decided that we need to amend our Climate Change Act to be able to provide a provision for establishment of climate carbon markets framework, legal and policy framework for us to be able to raise funds for climate action.
Political pundits have attributed the recent visit by the heads of state to Asian countries as a way of positioning themselves to strengthen the relationship with President Ruto's government.
They have the same agenda, how to counter the seeming success of Russia and China in Africa. And that's what they are trying to do. They do not succeed very well. There's no good reason for what they are claiming. Because they either slept on the job or they didn't care before.
Kenya and Singapore have agreed to operationalize a treaty that they signed 5 years ago to improve trade and investment between the two countries. Flora Limuki, TV47.
Now, Mineral Health Cabinet Secretary Susan Akumicho has ordered all KEMSA staff allegedly working from home to go back to work with immediate effect in a move aimed at streamlining the Human Resource Department and the agency. Akumicho was speaking during the inauguration of the new KEMSA board members following the suspension of some members following anti-malaria net scandal. Elizabeth Atieno now tells us more.
3 days after the entire KEMSA board was sent packing after allegedly bungling a 3.7 billion Kenya shillings anti-malaria nets procurement process spearheaded by the Global Fund. The new board, appointed by Health Cabinet Secretary Susan Nakhumicha, has officially assumed office. The new board is led by Irungu Nyakera, who is now the chairperson replacing Daniel Rono. Dr. Andrew Mulwa is the acting CEO following the suspension of Terry Ramadhani, who served in the agency since May 19, 2022. Other members also inaugurated on Thursday are Hesbon Omolo, Bernard Kipkirui, Jen Masiga, and Jen Batia.
There are people who are interested in enriching themselves on the backs of patients. Those are the people that I want to deal with them.
The first task that now awaits the new board is to ensure that all the 375 KEMSA employees allegedly working from home for 19 months now report to work at 8 a.m. on Friday the 19th.
It does not make sense. It is irresponsible to have paid over 200 people for 2 years, them sitting at home in the name of COVID. Yet we all go to our offices nowadays.
However, there still exists a cloud of uncertainty among Kenyans, considering that this is not the first time that KEMSA board is witnessing some changes.
Let me also say that we have individual culprits who taint the image of this institution. I will not stop at anything. Even if it means sending home a whole department, I am ready to deal with it.
In August 2020, the then KEMSA CEO, Jonah Manjari, was suspended due to the 7.6 billion COVID-19 scandal. His position was then occupied by John Kabuchi, who served in an acting capacity. In April 2021, the then KEMSA chairman, Kembi Gitura, was also suspended and replaced by Mary Mwadime, whose appointment was also revoked in February 2023. Questions now abound if the new faces will save the face of KEMSA, or will the country witness another case of the same forest with different monkeys.
And I said I might not have any other muscle, but I will name and shame anyone who is brought to my attention. Investigation is done, and they are known to have caused problems in this institution. We must move forward as a clean institution.
The Ministry of Health now reaffirms that the botched 3.7 billion procurement deal with Global Fund will proceed through the wambo.org website.
We have mosquitoes all over, and we don't want Kenyans to suffer. So based on that, I'm in agreement with them that they proceed with the procurement. In terms of quality, we all know that the specifications of the net are determined prior and during the budgeting process. Therefore, it is our expectation that Global Fund is going to buy as per specifications.
The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission is currently investigating the anti-malaria net scandal after receiving the report from the Ministry of Health. The findings will then be presented to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. Elizabeth Atieno, TV47, Nairobi.
And from the health scandal, let us shift focus on another scandal, sugar. Now, Kenya has over the years been dogged by contraband sugar scandal, with the sugar unfit for human consumption finding its way in the Kenyan market, putting the lives of millions of Kenyans at risk. President William Ruto on Wednesday suspended 27 government officials following accusations of irregular release of condemned sugar. The consignment was earmarked for destruction in 2018, a year that Kenyans were also treated to circus as a joint parliamentary committee that was investigating the presence of contraband sugar in the country. Our reporter Mwege William reports on the safety of sugar imported into the country, ready for consumption by Kenyans.
As Parliament was investigating the alleged importation of illegal and contaminated sugar in 2018, another consignment already condemned as unfit for human consumption was being released irregularly into the market. The consignment imported from Zimbabwe was to be destroyed but somehow found its way into the market. This information coming into light 4 years later after President William Ruto cracked his whip on 27 government officials allegedly familiar to the matter. The suspension of 27 officers drawn from 11 government agencies pending completion of investigations into the matter is the first step as the DCI investigates the possibilities that the sugar is already on sale. This is not the first time that reports of such contrabands finding their way to the market are being highlighted. In 2018, the then Interior Minister Fred Matiang'i raised the alarm that some contaminated sugar was in circulation.
The reports that have come from chemical analysis that have been done, some of what we are selling around and mixing as sugar has got high contents of mercury, has got high contents of copper. No wonder you have the cases you have around the country, whether they are related to cancer or what have you. We have just been selling, and people are making money, out of that, making money.
This led to the formation of a joint parliamentary committee led by Kanini Kega, whose report was however shot down by members of parliament.
Mr. Speaker, the sugar is therefore the one that didn't meet the standards is therefore not fit for human consumption. In respect to heavy metals, laboratory results analysis revealed that copper, lead, and arsenic contamination were within the standard specification for brown and light sugar.
We use sugar even to make soda in this country. And the soda that is made in this country is sold in neighboring countries. Mr. Speaker, you are in a sense, if you are saying that our sugar has mercury or is poisonous, you are in effect telling even those who are importing processed goods made of sugar from this country that they should be careful.
There's a big problem here. The shelves are giving us things that can make me start to stagger and say other things that I'm not used to be saying, Mr. Speaker. And you know that sugar is even used in beer. Sugar is used in confectionery, which even children partake of.
At the time, Kenya Bureau of Standards also denied the presence of mercury in the sugar, but admitted that some samples contained copper, more than 10 times the recommended safe level, and some traces of lead. In 2017, 10,000 bags of contaminated sugar through the port of Mombasa, imported from Egypt, made its way into the Kenyan market. The sugar is reported to have been containing unhealthy levels of moisture, insoluble matters, and aflatoxin that rendered it unfit for human consumption. All these raising question on whether the sugar imports met the required safety standards. Kenya imports up to 300 metric tons of sugar from other African countries, commonly Wastini, Zambia and Mauritius, which dominate Kenya's duty-free sugar to bridge the deficit gap. As Kenya's sugar production capacity stands at a combined 520,000 metric tons. Already changes at the Kenya Bureau of Standards have been effected, with Esther Ngari taking over as the acting managing director, Bernard Guyo taking over in acting capacity the role of the Director Quality Assurance and Inspection. Moige William, TV 47.
Thank you, Moige. Now, as talks continue growing rife on the copper and laced sugar that may be in the market, we take you through some of the effects of contaminated sugar. According to a study conducted by the Journal of Preventive Medicine and Public Health and also the World Health Organization, ingesting copper-laced sugar can have various adverse effects on the human body. These include nausea, bloody diarrhea, low blood pressure, anemia, and heart complications. The element could also damage tissues and body organs if taken in excess. And we'll definitely be keeping tabs on that as we proceed. Now let's talk politics. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has slammed Azimio coalition leader Raila Odinga for looking for what he termed as looking for a photo opportunity with President William Ruto for his own benefit, while dismissing claims that he is still a stumbling block to the handshake. The Deputy President spoke on a week Azimio coalition leader Raila Odinga described his meetup with the President as chance meetings, saying they were not planned. Apollo Kamau tells us more.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua joined President William Ruto and Azimio leader Raila Odinga in rejecting the handshake after last weekend meetup between the three top leaders. The Deputy President, who spoke during a UDA coordinators meeting in Nairobi, however slammed Odinga for seeking photo opportunities with the president for his own benefit.
Umeona juzi huyo mzee ameona president anaenda pale anakimbia hapo atawapigwe picha. Akimwona kwa mpira anakimbia for photograph. Ati ndio watu yake atuwatulie. The president of Kenya has no problem for photo opportunities. Huyo mzee akisikia pahali tuko akuje apigwe picha. So mkimuona muambie Saturday tutakuwa Limuru alafu tutakuwa Nyandarua. Akipata nafasi akuje tupigwe picha. Sunday akipata nafasi tutakuwa Isiolo. Pale kanisani akuje hapo wasalimiane, picha ipigwe iende. But that is as far as it will go.
The bad blood between Odinga and the DP on the handshake going a notch higher after Gachagua dismissed claims he was blocking the handshake between the president and the opposition leader.
And I want to confirm, because some people wanasema labda president anataka handshake au Rigijidi hataki. Let me tell you, President Ruto is even more strict about this handshake nonsense than I am. He cannot accept. The handshake experiment was the worst thing to happen in the politics of this country. And there is no leader who has won an election with a comfortable margin who will be out of his mind to go and bring his opponents to come to his government. That would be making democracy nonsensical.
Odinga on Tuesday told of Gachagua that he is interested in a handshake with the president, saying his meetings were by chance and not planned.
And I want to say this for umpteenth time. Mr. Gachagua, understand, we do not want any handshake with Kenya Kwanza.
Gachagua further clarifying his share statement, saying it was directed at the opposition, which has no right to claim a stake in the Kenya Kwanza administration, saying the government will serve all Kenyans equally.
The national cake is for everybody equally. But when it comes to the team that will assist the president to deliver on his mandate, there must be people who understand him. There must be people who believe in him.
The UDA party, which thanked its coordinators for their role in last year's election, is planning to roll out county offices and a party recruitment drive ahead of the 2027 poll.
Now may I declare here today that the UDA party will rule 100 years plus. And it is because we want to deliver.
Former Migori Governor Okoth Obado, who was the president's point man in Nyanza during the presidential campaigns, officially joined UDA. Apul Kamau, TV47.
Well, thank you for that, Apul Kamau. KDF officers will aid in the reconstruction of all the schools that have been destroyed by suspected bandits in the northern part of Kenya, in what could cost the government 200 million Kenyan shillings. Speaking in Baringo County Thursday, Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki stated that half of this money has already been disbursed. This even as most people stay away from their schools following the runaway insecurity in the area. In a move aimed at improving the state of education in the Kerio Valley following recent bandit attacks, the government has released 100 million Kenyan shillings to reconstruct schools that were vandalized by suspected bandits.
Hawa askari wetu wa akiba wamefanyishwa.
Speaking in Kimale, Baringo County, Interior CS Professor Kithure Kindiki stated that officers from the Kenya Defence Forces will be instrumental in the reconstruction.
I am aware that money may not be enough given the level of damage in some of the schools. I have visited some of those places. We require a little more money. So we are working hard to be able to secure a further 100 million to bring the total to 200 million for the purpose of rehabilitating those schools.
Some of the schools that have been adversely affected by the raids include Rasoma, Stona, Kapshen and Rawal that are located along the border of the counties of Baringo and Elgeyo Marakwet. Learning has been adversely paralyzed following incessant bandit attacks in schools, where in some instances pupils lose their lives while others are forced to stay at home fearing for their lives. This even as CS Kindiki has promised that the government is looking to build more schools along borders of the neighboring communities as a peacekeeping mission.
We want to build peace institutions. The president has already given us guidance. We are working with local leaders to identify places where along inter-community borders where we are having security challenges, we build boarding schools, we build day schools, we build other education institutions to put the children from different communities together and remove from them this idea that you can make a living from stealing other people's livestock and killing them.
Now, a young man has died after allegedly being pushed out of a moving Embasava vehicle by the conductor in Kwara area, Pipeline, and Abakasi East constituency. The incident angered the residents, which prompted them to set ablaze the said bus after the driver escaped from the scene. Vera Alberta reports on what many have termed as the creeping back of Matatu Madness.
The Embasava bus, registration number KCA 525T, was set on fire by residents who were angered by the incident.
So hiyo ndio leta shida. Vijana kama wananchi walikuwa wanataka haki. Na waliambiwa haki lazima itendeke na walikataza polisi wasibebe mwili kabla hawajapata haki. So virogo ilikuwa virugu huko na huko. Na dereva alifanya makosa, badala atoe gari aende, alitoa gari akasongeza tu kando.
It is alleged that the deceased, who died under mysterious circumstances, was pushed out of the moving vehicle by the conductor and fell on the road where he died.
Anashuka kwa gari, so akaanguka, akaguswa nini pavement. So akaanguka chini, kwa chini gari ikamkanyaga.
Residents have complained of rude and uncouth operators from the Embasava Sacco-owned buses and have asked authorities to look into the matter.
Kwa management sako kama hiyo, mimi naomba tu hata yao wenyewe pia serikali ingilie kati, waangalie venye hizo juu si mara ya kwanza wenyewe hizo matatu nazo ziko na tashwishi.
Sacco chairperson Benson Njoroge has denied the allegations, saying the young man fell on the road accidentally.
Hali ya kutaka kurudia simu akasukumana na conductor, na murago hata ilikuwa anasikia hata ifungwa. Akasukumana na driver na conductor, sorry. Kwa bahati mbaya tu akatereza hiyo hali ya kusukumana akitaka kutoka kwenda kurudia simu, akaanguka na mambo ikawa ni vile ilivyo.
Police have launched a probe into the matter.
Na kwa sako yetu tuna mikakati na mechanisms za kuduna such issues. Na kama kungekuwa na kitu kama hiyo tungekuwa tunasikia complaint hata kwa polisi wenyewe. We have never had anything complaint.
Vera Alberta, TV47, Nairobi.
I think that Alberta, and hopefully justice will be served. And speaking of matters justice, after months of investigations and waiting, the DCI investigations finally acquitted popular Kikuyu artist DJ Fatso from the murder of Jeff Mwathi, an issue that didn't sit well with the family, as they maintained that the king was killed and that the investigation was full of discrepancies, as Chichi Josephine now tells us.
Interior designer Jeff Mwathi's murder is a story that refuses to go away. And even with the acquittal of popular Kikuyu artist Lawrence Njuguna, popularly known as DJ Fatso, from the case, Jeff's parents are still yearning for justice to prevail.
Hakujua kwa sababu he was very happy, alikuwa very joyful, alikuwa mtu yani ukiangalia hata communication zake ni mtu alikuwa very happy. Na angekuwa amecommunicate na aseme mi daddy mom ama shosho ama guka niko na shida fulani. Unaona? Na hakuwa nazo.
We embarked on a journey to Mwathi's home in Likianjoro, Nakuru County. Here we find Jeff's father Peter Ngugi, and by the look on his face, he is a disturbed man. He says he is dissatisfied with the court's decision to acquit DJ Fatso based on the lack of evidence.
Nani mtu anaitwa DJ hata yako na mkono pale. Hiyo ofisi ya DCI, hiyo ofisi ya Kasarani Police Station na DPP wao wenyewe wote. Hawa ni watu wanakaka kwa kiti moja, wanajua watafanya nini kesho. Hata wanaweza bend law ama sheria ama haki kwa sababu ni wao. And they are the only powerful people in this country kulingana mambo ya homicide.
The news of Fatso's acquittal was very well received by his lawyer Duncan Okach, who has stated that the DJ will go back to his normal activities after being found not guilty.
The events and the account by our client was complete, was corroborated, and they did not see any or find any culpability.
DJ Fatso, in a subsequent statement posted on social media, also sought to absolve himself from the blame. The court has ordered a public inquest in Mwathi's death. The Director of Public Prosecution made the application for public inquest after investigations exonerated DJ Fatso from the murder.
Wakati hii story tena imetoka ya kwamba ati hakuna kitu walipata pale, tulishindwa hata walikuwa wanafanya kazi gani pale. Wameconsume a lot of taxpayers money, wametuletea mashida mingi ya kiakili, kutusumbua. Hata sijui ni kwa nini walileta hiyo mambo yote. Hiyo ni kama walikuwa wanaleta sarakasi kwa mahali Jeff kumuondoa. Ilikuwa very painful.
The family now say with the final investigation findings, they have no hope of getting justice for their son who died in an unclear circumstances.
Nashindwa nini walikuwa wanataka kuulia Jeff. Hakuwa na deni yao, hawakuzozania msichana, si pombe yao waliiba, si pesa, alikuwa tina pesa za kwenda kukunywa pombe ama akakasa kulipa kwa vilabu, ama kama ni pesa alikosa kulipa kwa vilabu, wenye vilabu ndio wangemshika. Sio deni yako nayo, sio kitu si ya kuwatusi. Hakuna nowhere you were told walikuwa na grudge na anybody. Walimuua kwa sababu gani?
Serikali ilituacha na tulikuwa tunafikiri inatuambia tufufue mwili ndio tupate haki yetu, lakini hakuna haki tulipata kwa sababu hii serikali inaangalia wale wako na pesa.
Hata DJ wajue wako na miri na damu kama Jeff, na Mungu tumewaachia Mungu afanye vyenye anataka na hawa. Juu hatuna uwezo wa kujiulizia, lakini Mungu atatulipishia.
The youthful designer died on February 22nd this year in an unclear circumstances. However, initial police reports cited suicide. Even after the DPP agreed on the findings and recommendations of the DCI on having no evidence suggesting that DJ Fatso had a hand in Jeff's mother's death, the family maintains that their kin was murdered. However, what is left for them is to just let Jeff Mwathi rest in eternal peace. Reporting for TV47 from Mount Narok, my name is Chichi Josephine.
Thank you for that, Chichi Josephine. Let's take a short break. On the other side, I'll be giving you more updates on. Stick around.
For the biggest of guests, from politicians to entertainers to content creators to whichever kind of a person you want to think that you'd want to see on the show, this is the place to be. Dr. Funike tonight.
Each and every Wednesday. My name is DJ Lizney, not your ordinary DJ.
And of course, they call me the Eagle himself. Your host, Dr. Funike, is my name. Of course, every Wednesday at 7:30. See you then. Don't touch.
Make sure to join us.
Tell your landlord as well. Jua unalipia wa parent.
Sikose.
From politics, health, cooking, relationships, and entertainment, join Linda Alela every weekday from 6 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. only on Morning Cafe.
Your health is not just about going to the hospital. Your health is about prevention, it's about what you eat, it's about where you live. For this reason, the Body Garage Show exists.
The part of the brain that deals with communication.
Called primary hypertension, which means that we don't find a reason for that.
Join me, Dr. Chepsi, every Thursday, 8 p.m.
Hello and welcome to yet another edition of Beyond the Limit. We have not even scratched the surface when it comes to knowledge about disability. Beyond the Limit with me, Zainab Mohammed, every Saturday at 7:30 p.m.
You know what pops in my house more than the rainbow? Walls. You know what I love between me and him? Space. Don't worry, dishes. No one is doing me either.
Is rampant among
not
you.
much. Just hanging around. Pull yourself together. Enough on the jokes. Let's talk about real estate. Catch the Realtor every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m.
Want to learn?
For the first step, we are going to draw out the balloons. As you can see, we have balloons on our birthday cards.
Have fun. Then catch Kids on the Block every Saturday.
Dr. Funike,
Elizabeth Beatrice Maganga.
Kwaki.
Bwana, mimi naitwa Billy Mio ukipenda.
For the biggest of guests, from politicians to entertainers to content creators to whichever kind of a person you want to think that you'd want to see on the show, this is the place to be. Dr. Funike tonight.
Each and every Wednesday. My name is DJ Lizney, not your ordinary DJ.
And of course, they call me the Eagle himself. Your host, Dr. Funike, is my name. Of course, every Wednesday at 7:30. See you there and don't touch.
Make sure to join us.
Tell your landlord as well. Jua unalipia wa parent.
Sikose.
You know what pops in my house more than the rainbow? Walls. You know what I love between me and him? Space. Don't worry, dishes. No one is doing me either. Hey, not much. Just hanging around. Pull yourself together. Enough on the jokes. Let's talk about real estate. Catch the Realtor every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m.
From politics, health, cooking, relationships, and entertainment. Join Linda Alela every weekday from 6 a.m. to 9:30.
8 more bodies were exhumed from the Shakahola forest in Kilifi County, bringing the tally to 235. Coast Regional Commissioner Rhoda Onyancha says 4 more people were rescued, as the number of those rescued reached 89. The exhumation is expected to continue after autopsy is conducted. The post-mortem is expected to be conducted starting Wednesday next week. Mike Kagungo reports.
The number of people who died as a result of fasting to death to meet Jesus has risen to 335 on Thursday, after 8 more bodies were exhumed in the vast Shakahola forests. Coast Regional Commissioner Rhoda Onyancha also confirmed that 4 more people were rescued on Thursday, bringing the number to 89, saying 1 person was in a dire situation as the whereabouts of 613 people remain unknown.
The forensic team has been able to exhume 8 bodies. Those who are reporting the missing of their loved ones, today at our desk we have 613 people.
Meanwhile, a herder in Shakahola recounted how he allegedly assisted a follower of Good News International Church who had been tied on a tree. The church is headed by controversial pastor Paul Mackenzie, who remains in police custody. Yusuf Abdi said he was herding his goats when he met the man, who was visibly in great pain. He gave him milk and took care of him, in the process losing his goats.
Wanasaidia hata mtu mwingine ameona huko ndani msituni wamefungwa kamba. Wanasaidia maziwa kukunya. Kama kabati ya maziwa ni maji ni chai, alafu mimi naendelea nimetembea mbuzi.
Abdi said saving a life was of great worth compared to the goats. Members of a Senate committee formed to investigate the Shakahola ordeal led by Tana River Senator Danson Mungatana are expected to visit the forest from Friday. On Friday, the senators will be in Kilifi for a series of meetings with various players. Among them, Kilifi Governor Gideon Mungaro and a security meeting with the Kilifi County Commissioner. This comes as a forensic team exhuming bodies at Shakahola Farm have suspended operations to focus on post-mortem of 123 bodies in the second phase of autopsy. Onyancha said the forensic team will start the post-mortem exercise on Wednesday, 24th May. Autopsy will be carried out at the Malindi Sub-County Hospital mortuary, led by Chief Government Pathologist Johansen Odura. Mike Kagwongo TV 47.
And the corridors of justice. Still on these matters, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations has asked the court not to allow any access and withdrawal of money in bank accounts under Pastor Ezekiel Odero. The DCI argues that access to the accounts will prejudice the ongoing investigations. Pastor Ezekiel had earlier requested to be allowed to withdraw at least 50 million shillings to enable him run his ministry. And as Andren Kilemi reports, the magistrate is expected to issue a ruling on the matter today.
Make a bearing onto the orders that the court is going to give.
Investigating officer Martin Munene has told the court that unfreezing part or holy bank accounts as requested by the embattled pastor of New Life Church Ezekiel Odero will prejudice the ongoing investigations. Pastor Ezekiel filed an application seeking to be allowed to withdraw at least 50 million shillings to enable him to run his ministry.
We'll thus be praying that we be supplied with the ruling of the court, allowing the suspect in this matter under investigation to cross-examine an investigating officer on investigations he is conducting on the suspect. And we'll also be praying for proceedings.
Through his lawyers Dunstan Omari, Cliff Ombeta, Sam Nyaberi and Shadrach Wamboi, Ezekiel asked the magistrate to allow him to operate 2 bank accounts held in a cooperative bank.
Now the question is simple. Through him or not, have you filed?
I gave a copy to the office of the ODPP.
My question is simple, sir. Do you know whether it has been filed or not? That's the simple question.
I'm not aware.
You have an affidavit of service.
ODPP can give an answer.
No, I'm asking you. I have the benefit of having you in that doc.
While cross-examining the officer, the court was told that there are at least 28 bank accounts that are of interest. 16 accounts are held in cooperative, 9 with NCBA, 1 in Equity Bank, 1 at KCB, and 1 bank account held at HFC. A ruling on whether the televangelist will be allowed to access his accounts will be delivered Friday. Andrin Kilemi, TV 47.
County 08, Wajir County government pending bills grew by 4.5 billion shillings in 2 months. This was revealed by Wajir Governor Ahmed Abdullahi, who told the Senate County Public Accounts Committee that in those 2 months, the county's pending bill grew from 1 billion Kenyan shillings to 5.5 billion shillings, raising suspicion of possible theft of public funds. With more than 1.5 billion shillings, employees' statutory deductions yet to be remitted. And as Elizabeth Mutukuna reports, the senators have demanded a forensic audit to ensure culprits are brought to book.
Appearing before the Senate County Public Accounts Committee, Wajir Governor Ahmed Abdullahi made shocking revelations of a huge pending bills, facing the county being the second in pending bills after Nairobi County with 7.5 billion shillings.
It was deducted, not remitted. And we're talking of to the tune of probably between statutory deductions and pensions and standing orders on loans, to the tune of probably $1 billion.
Maybe Governor.
Just a minute, so that we don't lose it. 1.5 billion in terms of, so statutory reduction is pay as you earn, pensions,
gratuities, standing orders for employees, which would mean payments for loans, contribution to SACCOs, 1.5 billion collected by the county government of Wajir, not sent to the beneficiaries, but deducted from the employee.
Abdullahi told the committee pending bills grew by 4.5 billion shillings in 2 months from 1 billion shillings to 5.5 billion shillings, raising suspicion of possible theft of public funds in the financial year 2019-2020. With more than 1.5 billion shillings statutory deductions yet to be remitted. The revelations angered the senators who termed the failure to remittance of statutory deductions as theft of public resources and more incapacitating workers for years on matters NHIF and loans, as the committee demanded a forensic audit to ensure the officers involved are charged and the monies recovered.
So I think the people of Wajir require our protection and the protection of the Kenyan law. And the least we can do is to order a criminal investigation of the county. And since His Excellency is forthcoming to help that happen, it should be done immediately so that going forward, we can have those who are responsible held accountable. Because when you look at the figures, Wajir is going to turn out like a county which might need a bailout.
Because this one was outright theft of public money. Because this money was remitted, it was deducted but not remitted to the beneficiaries. And it is not small money. 1.5 billion is a lot of money that might even become a problem running Wajir County government in future. So I think the ESCC must seize off this matter, Chair, and we need to pronounce ourselves clearly as we wait for the report on the pending bill.
Further, the Moses Kejwang-led committee wondered how a county like Wajir would be second in list of pending bills after Nairobi and tasked the governor to ensure the matter is settled. Not only the pending bills, but the eligible pending bills are paid.
But we cannot sit here and say that employees will have to wait until July for them to access NHIF, for them to get tax clearance, for them to access the services that they have already paid for. As far as the employees are concerned, they have already paid for it. That cannot wait for another team of experts, another team of task forces.
Wajir County had a turbulent time in the last term, especially after Governor Mohamud Mahmoud was impeached by the Senate, and at one time there were 2 sitting governors after the court reinstated him as they battled with his deputy Hashim Musa Yusuf. Elizabeth Mutuko, TV47, Nairobi.
And definitely, I hope that is not some monkey business in Garissa and in Wajir and in the whole devolved units. Speaking of matters business, let's talk matters biashara after this. And milk processor Brookside Dairy has announced its venture into the plant-based milk category, which will be beneficial to lactose-intolerant people. And this comes after the soy and almond milk products have been introduced into the market by the company. While launching the new project at the company's headquarters in Ruiru, Brookside's marketing director Reza Chabkoro said that the introduction of plant-based milk is a response to consumer preferences for products which are dairy-free, gluten-free and lactose-free, protein-packed drinks processed from wholesome ingredients. The expansion of the company's product portfolio is said to benefit over 200,000 farmers across East Africa as they are guaranteed market for the supply of raw milk. Chabokro reiterated that Brookside has undertaken major upgrades in empowering local producers and raw material providers to source the raw materials required.
Plant-based milk is a dairy alternative suitable for everyone, but especially for vegetarians and consumers seeking for more in their healthy diet. Although it is labeled with the word milk, but it is 100% product dairy-free and is made from plant sources. Our plant-based range encompasses Brookside almond milk and almond soya milk. Brookside soya milk, which are free, dairy-free, gluten-free, and lactose-free protein-packed drinks processed with wholesome ingredients. Brookside almond milk is highly beneficial for you because it is rich in vitamin E, an important antioxidant that supports a healthy heart. Plant-based is a fast-growing demand around the world, and Kenya is one of the countries that is the same speed of the world. You know, Kenya is moving to the new products that is more beneficial for people's health. So this is the future, and we are here now.
Meanwhile, the world's top chocolate and chewing gum maker, Mars Wrigley, says it plans to expand its innovative distribution model, targeting the low-income consumer market in the region through a program known as Maua Program, which seeks to support micro and small enterprises to create jobs and sustainable livelihoods in the country. Through its model, Maua Program, the company is set to recruit 1,000 entrepreneurs in Kenya before the end of the year. This is in addition to the 1,600 traders, inclusive of 700 women who have benefited from the program running since the year 2013, which will bring the total to 2,600.
Our vision is about the world that we want tomorrow starts with how we do business today. So very much looking at making sure that we're working today in a very sustainable way. And our commitment to positive societal impact comes through and is very visible in the multi-billion commitment that we've made through our Sustainable Intergeneration Plan, which is helping people, pets, and the planet to thrive.
The informal market is where we saw an opportunity to partner with entrepreneurs in the slums, in the rural areas, in the low-income areas, to take our products to customers there. Through this partnership, our entrepreneurs have been able to gain economically. They've also received training in sales, in business management, and thanks to this, they've been able to have a solid impact.
Enterprise and organizations that engage in honest and legal business within our county are essential in the growth of our socio-economic.
And let's crunch some numbers in Cooperative Bank, which has recorded a net profit of 6.1 billion shillings in the first 3 months this year, compared to a similar period last year when the bank posted 5.8 billion shillings profit, a move that represents a 5.2% growth. Cooperative Bank CEO Gideon Muruki says that the strong performance, backed by solid non-interest and interest income growth, is in line with the group's strategic focus in sustainable growth, resilience and agility.